Okay, so on to question 2, and we have Jalila leaving her home at 10 a.m. to cycle to a park. Hopefully have a look at the diagram. You'll see that you've got time on our x-axis, and you'll see that we've got distance on our y-axis. What this means is it is going to be a distance time graph, and the line is going to represent the speed. Now hopefully from your lessons you will recognize that speed is equal to distance over time. Okay, and you can recreate this formula triangle, which we will use as we go through the question. So question A, let's get started. Only 1 mark, so it should be fairly straightforward. On her journey to the park, did Jalila cycle faster before or after she stopped at her friend's house? Now this horizontal bit here represents where she's stopped. So there's a key point with distance time graphs. Any time that you have a horizontal line, it means that you are stationary. You're not getting any further away from home or any nearer to home as time goes by. So we've got 2 sections, first of all leading up to that stationary point, and then the second bit after the stationary point. Essentially, the steeper part is in that second bit. So therefore, you would give the answer that it was after she has stopped, and the reason, just for 1 mark, remember, because it is steeper. The steeper the line, the faster you are travelling. There's another key point to remember. Make a note of that and make some flashcards. Question B. So Jalila stayed at the park for 45 minutes. She then cycled without stopping at a constant speed of 16 kilometers per hour from the park. Okay, let's break this down into its 2 bits. First of all, she stopped at the park for 45 minutes. Looking at the axis that we've got down here, okay, you can see that each of these little squares is worth 15 minutes. They've split the hour up into 15 minutes. So to stop for 45 minutes, remember what we said at the start. If you stopped, it is a horizontal line. 3 of those squares will represent the 45 minutes. So there's the first part there. Pretty much, you've got the first of your 2 marks for question B. Now comes the tricky bit. It's a constant speed. Well, that means it will be a straight line. Okay, remember that one. We're given 16 kilometers per hour. So we know that that is our speed is 16. And from the park back to her home. Well, at the moment, we're at this point, which is 24 kilometers from home. So that is what is giving us our distance of 24 kilometers. Now, using our formula triangle that we used before to calculate our time, we can work out it is the distance divided by the speed. Okay, if you cover the t up in the formula triangle, you're left with d over s. We know that our distance was 24. We know that our speed was 16. Chuck it into your calculator, and that will give you 1.5. Remember, time in this question is given in hours. So all we have to do, we know that she's going back to her home. Well, that is represented by the x-axis all the way at the bottom, and we need to take 1.5 hours. So at the moment, she stayed at the park for 45 minutes, which takes us to 12:45. So half an hour would take us to 1:15, and another hour after that would take us to this point at 2:15. So essentially, all you have to do with a ruler, I don't have one, you're going to draw a straight line all the way back, and that's going to give you your 2nd mark. On to questions 3. Work out Jalila's average cycling speed in kilometers per hour. So again, this time we're calculating a speed. This will be given by the distance divided by the time. So we need to know the total distance that she has gone. Well, she's cycled 24 kilometers to the park, and then she's cycled 24 kilometers back. Must be one hell of a park to cycle that far to it. Okay, so 24 and 24 gives us the total distance, which obviously is going to be 48. Our total time that has been taken, remember, we need to knock off the time where we've been stationary for this. Okay, so I'm going to ignore this 15 minutes here. I'm going to ignore this 45 minutes here. And essentially, if I add up all of these periods of time from here to here, from here to here, and then from here to here, I end up with a total of 3¼ hours. Remember, a quarter as decimals would be 3.25. So 48 divided by 3.25, chuck that into your calculator, and you will get an answer of 14.76923, blah, blah, blah. Go back to the question. Okay, it says, give your answer correct to 1 decimal place. Well, that's my first decimal place. The next digit is a 6, meaning I must round up. So my answer is 14.8 kilometers per hour. Drop it in there on the line. Thank you very much. Show me the 6 marks. Remember, you can subscribe to the channel and get access to all of the videos. And as always, if you have any specific questions, please email them through to thurstonstoptips@gmail.com, and we'll create a video for you and give you a shout out if you give us your name.